It all started with a plain white envelope, slipped into my mailbox like it was just another Tuesday. I was sipping black coffee on my porch, the kind that burns your throat just right when I opened it. Inside was in due lot, 800 fine for some party spot I didn't know existed on land I didn't even know was mine. My name's Ethan Caldwell, and I've got 2,000 acres of fields, creeks, and wild brush that I mostly leave alone. But that letter? It was the spark that lit a fire I didn't see coming. The local HOA, those suit-and-tie types from Willow Creek Estates, had built a damn summer resort on my property, thinking I'd never catch on. They were dead wrong. I live half a mile from Willow Creek, a shiny new neighborhood that sprouted up 5 years ago at the edge of my land. We'd never crossed paths, and I liked it that way. So when I read the letter, saw a reminder. You're required to pay due lot 800 for unauthorized construction of a canopy in a legal runoff in a HOA Recreational Area 17 seesaw, I laughed. Thought it was a prank. Then I read it again. HOA? I'm no part of their club. I called the number at the bottom, and a bored-sounding woman answered. Willow Creek Community Office. I told her, hey, I'm Ethan Caldwell. Got this fine, but it's not for me. She asked for my address, then dropped a bomb. Lot 17 CS on your parcel, sir. You're the owner. Owner? I hadn't set foot in that part of my land in years, not since my old dog got bit by a rattlesnake out there. She went on about GIS coordinates and some nonsense called an extended responsibility zone. I cut her off. I'm not in your HOA. That's my land. Her voice was flat, like she'd rather be anywhere else. Database says it's yours. Dispute it if you want, but the fine's due. Click. She hung up. I stood there, staring across my fields, feeling a knot tighten in my gut. Something was rotting out there, and it wasn't just the letter. I pulled up the county's property map on my ancient laptop. It took forever, but there it was, Lot 17C, smack in the middle of my deed. No leases, no easements, nothing. Mine, plain and simple. I called a buddy who runs a drone survey business. Mike, I need footage of my back acres, east of Willow Creek's fence. He chuckled. Chasing poachers? I said, something like that. 2 days later, the VY Deo hit my inbox. I clicked play, expecting maybe some trash or overgrown weeds. Well, I saw knock the breath out of me. There, at the edge of my land, was a full-blown setup. A steel frame canopy draped with canvas, solar lights twinkling like a campsite, grills lined up like soldiers, picnic tables, an industrial cooler, and a splash pool big enough for a dozen kids. Tiki torches, plastic chairs, and a sign staked in the dirt. Saw Willow Creek Community Area, Lot Seesaw. My land. Their playground. The footage showed families barbecuing, kids running wild. And at night, it lit up with music, dancing, and beer bottles clinking. Cars parked just inside my tree line, like they own the place. I rewound to the sign, its smug, curly handwriting screaming HOA pride. This wasn't some rogue picnic. This was planned, bold, and ballsy. They thought I'd never notice. For a while, they were right. I dug through every record I had, deeds, tax rolls, my grandpa's old files. Nothing, not a scrap of paper, gave them permission to so much as step on that dirt. I called Mike back, asked for raw footage with GPS tags. Poachers or neighbors? He asked. Whichever's worse, I shot back. That night, I sat at my kitchen table, a glass of bourbon in hand, watching the VY Deo on loop. They thought I wouldn't find out. The nerve of his sheer arrogance burned hotter than the liquor. Next morning, I shaved, threw on my cleanest flannel, and drove to the Willow Creek HOA office. Time to play dumb. The place was all beige and fake plants, with elevator music that made my teeth itch. A woman at the desk, Jessica, flashed a smile sharper than a new blade. Welcome to Willow Creek. How can I help? I grinned, leaning into the act. Thinking about buying around here. Want to know about the community. She handed me a glossy brochure, full of pool schedules and pet rules. I flipped to the map, and there it was, Lot 17C, shaded in HOA green, labeled as their recreation area. A little family icon smiled next to it. This open to everyone? I asked, tapping the map. Oh, absolutely, Jessica beamed. It's a summer favorite. The board maintains it. I raised an eyebrow. HOA own it? Or is it leased? She faltered just for a second. I think it was an agreement with the original owner. No formal lease, but he never minded. My blood ran cold. So it's not yours. She shrugged. It's in our brochure. We've maintained it for years. I nodded, tucked the brochure under my arm, and asked to see the lot. Just walk through the east gate, she chirped. I walked out, smiling like a fool, but inside, I was a lit fuse. Back home, I tore through every file again. My grandpa's deed was clear. No agreements, just ownership. Then the HOA sent a response to my lawyer's request to polish letter with a signed document from my grandpa, dated 12 years back, GIVY-ing them rights to Lot 17C. One problem, the signature was fake. Grandpa always used a black fountain pen. Signing saw H.E. Caldwell saw with a flourish. This was blue ink, clean and modern, like it was traced. My lawyer, Sarah, whistled. This is bold. I growled, that's one word. We fired back a notice of intent to sue for trespass and fraud. The HOA panicked, sending 3 new letters. One about my neglected fence, another claiming I blocked their access, and a third whining about my land's VY Sewell disharmony. Then came the flyers plastered on every pole in Willow Creek. Saw our park is under threat. Stop the greedy land grab. Saw they didn't name me, but everyone knew. A Saw Save Lot Seesaw Facebook group popped up, flooded with photos of kids splashing and hashtags like the Let Them Play. Residents posted VY Deos, begging me to do the right thing, let them keep my land. I was boiling, but Sarah kept me steady, collecting every scrap of EVY Denke. Then the universe tossed me a bone. A retired landscaper, Tom, called after hearing I was suing. He'd worked on Lot 17C, thinking it was city land. Never heard the name Caldwell, he said over coffee and bourbon. They paid cash, no questions. Days later, an anonymous email hit Sarah's inbox with HOA board notes. One email from the president, Linda Voss, read, "Saw if we formalize anything, we lose it. Just use the land. He won't notice." Saw another gem. Saw worst case, we fake an agreement from the grandpa. Who's checking? Saw Sarah grinned. Textbook fraud. We got more. High-res drone stills showing board members setting up the site, and a board member, anonymous, spilled everything in a shady pickup truck meeting. They knew it wasn't theirs, he said. Thought it'd boost property values. The courthouse was a circus. Linda Voss sat in a red blazer, all fake smiles. Their lawyer argued I'd implied permission by ignoring the land. Sarah didn't blink, sliding over the drone footage, the deed, and a forensic report torching their fake signature. A contractor testified Linda hired him, rushing to finish before anyone noticed. Financial records showed they'd used HOA dues to build on my land, then lied to cover it. The judge, a grizzled guy with zero patience, laid it out. Lot 17C was mine, the agreement was forged, and the HOA's actions were trespass, deception, and fraud. He ordered them to pay due law $420,000 for damages, legal fees, and emotional distress. Gasps rippled through the room. He wasn't done. They had 60 days to clear every chair, torch, and lie for my land, plus publish an apology in their newsletters. Linda looked like she'd been punched. The county prosecutor then filed fraud charges against her. She didn't move, just stared ahead, unraveling. The media went wild. Headlines screamed. Saw farmer battles, HOA over stolen park. Saw Willow Creek fought back with more flyers and sob-story VY Deos, painting me as a greedy loner. My inbox filled with prayers and threats. I put up cameras, trail cams, and did a TV inner VYEW, laying out the truth with my truck's tailgate as my stage. Half the town cheered. The other half cursed me. One guy sent jerky, another key my mailbox. At night, people snapped photos of Lot 17C. Some spray painting saw free Lot C saw on the HOA's fence. Even my tenants nudged me to let it go, but I wasn't budging. They stole from me, then played VY Tim. Hell no. It took 47 days for them to clear the site. I watched from a lawn chair as the canopy came down, tables hauled off, and the pool deflated. On day 48, it was just land again, wild grass and silence. I drove a post into the ground where their sign once stood, my own message in white paint. So not your land, not your park, not your party. Saw the news called it a strange VY Tory. I called it justice. The payout came, and after fees and taxes, I signed Lot 17C over to a conservation group as a wildlife zone. No parties, just nature. Someone left a note on my gate. Saw we could have shared it. Saw I kept it. A reminder of how people twist theft into entitlement. Willow Creek's meetings got quieter. New board members took over, promising real parks on their own land. My fence is stronger now. My trail cam's humming. The deer are back, and I saw a coyote slip past where the tiki torches once stood. The land's fine without their chaos. It just needed to be left alone. So what do you think? Was I right to fight? Or should I have let it slide for the kids? Is personal property sacred? Or does community VYB trump all? Drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe if you got more stories where this came from. Let's hear your take.